afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela and I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady. Now I'd like to welcome back all of my old subscribers and all the new ones that seem to be popping in this week. I hope you're enjoying everything that I'm putting out. Right, so first up is video catch-ups. Now I've released 2 videos this week that I'd already released, but then I'd had to take them down. Well, not take them down, but put them on hold and re-release them. Now it turns out that YouTube, when you re-release a video, doesn't send out notifications to anybody because it's already done it the once, so it won't do it again. And it also doesn't put it to the top of the video list, sort of on my page. It puts it where it was originally. So because of that, I've got a feeling that some of you may have easily missed those 2 videos. So the first one is the crazy stitch that I was talking about last week, which is the don't do stitch, and the other one is the Neuro knitting magazines. I've decided, because I've mucked up with the first one, I might as well bring that one forward as well, so at least then we don't have to delve too far back. So you have those 2 videos to possibly catch up on if you didn't manage to see them first time round. And the other video that went out this week was finally the first international yarn swap, which was a yarn swap between myself and somebody from the US. Now I'm not going to tell you who it is. If you've got to see it, you'll understand why. It's I've set out a little bit of fun at the beginning where I give you some clues and you see if you can guess it before you get through the titles. But otherwise, I absolutely loved all that yarn, and it is now up on my yarn shelf up here. Oh, wrong. There we go. That yarn shelf there. So any new ones up there came from her. Right, so now on to completed whips for this week. Right, as I told you last week, I was doing a pattern test, and it was all hush hush, and because I wasn't sure whether I would be allowed to show it yet. I certainly couldn't then because the pattern wasn't up and wasn't available, but it is now available online, so it doesn't matter what country you're in, you can get it. So here it is. Here is the blanket that I made. Now I'll start you off with the details on this one. I used the papaya cake in Unicorn. Now I did do a little bit of colour controlling with it because I have used the white that was in the centre. I completely took that out as I was working along, and I've used that as my dividing colour. So here is the blanket. Now it's only diddy, but this is an entire cake, and I've literally, the only thing I've done is take out the white section to use within these little hearts here. Let's bring it up close for you. Okay, so there we go. Otherwise, that is how the cake came out. Give or take a few stitches, because you know I don't like mixed rows of colour, but then that's just me being finicky, isn't it? Right, so I used the pattern. I've got to be careful how much info I give you, but I used the papaya cake and a 5mm. Now my blanket measures in at 25 inches wide by 27 in depth. Okay, and that's 4 little sets of stripes, so 4 lots of repeat. Now the pattern itself is beautifully easy to work out and to do once you get your brain in it, but of course last week my brain wasn't quite up to standard, was it? I was having a bit of a Burt week the week before. Right, so to get hold of your copy of that pattern, pop on to goodvibesyarn.co.uk, where she has a section with her very first pattern in. It's beautifully written, really easy to get your head around, and I believe she may have a little video that she may be adding in to show you how to do the hearts a bit easier, and you might recognise the background and the voice. Right, let's move on to the next item. Right, so as some of you know, I'm really lucky. I've got a local shop to me that sells a lot of handmade items from different people in the area, lots of different crafts. And what they did last year was they collected in the donated yarn for me for the very first 1,000 poppies that were made. So I got about 50% through donations locally. Now they are being beautiful again this year for me. What they're doing is they're helping me, they're letting me sell some key rings. Now these key rings are to help promote another item within the shop, but I've made them, they've priced them, and instead of taking a percentage of the sale price, they're giving the whole lot to me, and the difference is to go towards buying the yarn and the brooches and the plastic bags and all the other bits and pieces that go along with the poppy challenge. It's not just making the flipping poppies. So these are the little bumblebees, and so far they've had 15, so this will take it up to 20, which by the time these are sold, the difference means that I will have enough to purchase the 1,000 brooch bags that I'm going to need for next year. So that's going to be really cool. So those, once they're finished, I've just got to put like little labels on and a little bow to make it look a bit more professional. And then they will be flying over to them probably tomorrow. Right, so here's a funny one for you. You read a pattern and you think, oh, I'm not doing it like that, I'm going to do it my own way, which seems to be what I do quite a lot. And well, I've been eyeing up a little brooch pattern for ages, and it's a really little cute mouse. Well, it's been sitting in my Pinterest like album for ages and ages and ages. So I finally decided I was going to do it yesterday. Now, it called for cotton, and as you know, I've only done a few items in cotton. I haven't really learnt enough about cotton yet, and I didn't have the right colours as normal. So I just picked up a DK weight yarn and a 3mm hook, 3.5 millimeter hook. Now the pattern actually called for a 1.5mm hook, which was why there was no way I was going to do it, because some points of it there are only 4 stitches in a magic ring, and I'm sorry, if I can't get it around my finger to so I can identify the stitches, don't do it. So this is my little mouse that I made. So I did change it up. I changed up the nose, I changed up the arms, I changed up the feet, and I changed up the tail, but the rest of it is the original design. Right, so I haven't finished because she hasn't got her makeup on yet, but as I said, it was meant to be a brooch, but I think it's a bit big for a brooch, and it might even be a bit too big for a keyring. I will put it up against the bumblebees in a minute so you'll see what I mean. But here she is, little cute mouse. Oh, that way round. It's alright, at the moment she's got 2 arms, and I haven't quite decided which way round I like her, but I decided to do 2 arms because of the thought of having her as a keyring. So let's put her up against my bumblebees. As you can see, she's quite a bit bigger. Right, so for the little mouse, which is up here now, and the bumblebees, the patterns both came from Pinterest, so I will attempt to link their pattern in the comments below. Right, so next up is the photographs from you guys. I have 2 this week. Now, one of them is absolutely amazing. I never thought I would see somebody else go as crazy as me. Here's the first one. Whoa, Julie, 34 poppies done. When you sent me that picture, I believe you were still carrying on, and you've had about a week. So you are kicking my behind when it comes to making poppies. I am so chuffed that you're liking the pattern and that you're running along with it and donating them on. Well, donating them on once the exhibition's finished. Now, Your exhibition sounds absolutely beautiful. Right, so she's teamed up with a gentleman who does metal work and woodwork, and he's used some Second World War tools to create some beautiful planes and things. Now I haven't got a photograph of this as yet. At some point I hope she's going to send me one so I can show it to you with the items that this gentleman has made and her poppies all in situ. But it's there to do a big celebration for the RAF this year. Right, next one up is a unicorn blanket. Now this was made by Helen using a 4-weight yarn, a 4mm hook, and hers came in at 25 by 36 inches. Now before I show you this, I'd like to congratulate her. This is her very first picture corner to corner or anything like that where she's had to multi-change yarn, and I know from experience, because this was pretty much my first one with more than one colour change in it, that it was a tough pattern. But she's kicked it up a gear from me and gone even crazier, and because she wanted to incorporate the yarn that she'd won from my birthday giveaway back in August. So she has used that, and it was pink which made it hard because there was only 50 grams of it, but she has used it in the unicorn so that she has a memory of that yarn, and she has used lots of different colors. It's not a white background anymore. Have a look at this. I absolutely love it. It shows that just by changing the colors around within a pattern, you can take it from looking like a baby pattern, something that you would have in a nursery, to something maybe a 8, 9, 10 or even teenager would have. Now I know I've got another one coming up that has got a different hair and feet combination, and I can't wait to see that one so I can explain to you where I think that would go in the set. I would love to say that the reason you will not be getting a tutorial next week is because of this. Little monkey won't move off the table, will she? But it's not. It's just I haven't got to it yet. As you know, I want to try and get you a pattern out sort of every other week if possible, but now I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking it needs to go through testers if I have a pattern, rather than just putting it out and letting you lot be my testers. Because some of you may not know quite how to fix my muck-ups, not yet anyway. So next one out will be quite a way off because I've still got to write it up and do everything else before I actually try and make it and hope for the best. But it's going to be bigger than the unicorn, which is at the moment is looking bigger than the unicorn, which is a bit of an issue as it's still only an idea. I haven't even made it yet, so I don't know whether it's even going to work, but fingers crossed, eh? Right, so a couple of weeks ago I sent out a prize to Julie and Barbara, which were magazines. Now both of those have arrived safely with them, and we may not see them for a little while because they both seem to be glued to it. So here is a picture of the knitting magazine. Now you will get an opportunity to view this in at the end of October, beginning of November, because I sneakily took pictures of the magazine before it went out. So here it is. And here is the pictures from Barbara. Well, they're not from Barbara, I took them myself because I've got a second copy of this magazine, thankfully, and Barbara will be asleep at the moment because she's in Australia, I think, if I remember rightly. So due to that, This isn't exactly what I sent her. The card may be different and the stitch markers may be different, but other than that, the magazine's the same, and so's the poppy kit. Right, now this is something a bit sicky and a bit creepy in some cases, but some of you might appreciate it. Right, the other day Liam had a bath. Liam is the dog, and of course after his bath he has to be brushed down, and well, he doesn't have to be, but I do. I give him a proper full brush top to bottom. Well, of course you have to clean the brush because he's got so much flipping hair, but not as much as others. But I was sitting there and I didn't have any yarn to hand when I'd finished, and I couldn't be bothered to come upstairs to grab some yarn to do a project. I sat there twiddling with the hair and created my own yarn. It's a bit sickly, isn't it? But what made it worse was I picked up my hook and I made a chain with it just to see if it would hold out. It's not doing too bad, but to be honest, hand spinning, I think I need one of them dangly things that you hang off it for the weight. But I took a picture to send to my husband to try and freak him out, and he asked, is it my hair? Because it looks like it could be. Cheeky so-and-so. Right, so I'm going to head off now, as I've got to take this bud out for a W. So I will see you all very soon. So please stay in and stay safe if you can. Ta-ra for now. Oh. Oh. Right, I'm going to head off now because I've got somebody bugging me for a walk. And so, all I can,